Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Accessible Documents Workshop. My name is Rhonda, and I will be your host for this training video. All digital content must be accessible within the state of Colorado. This is important because it is best practice, it's the right thing to do, and it aligns with CDPS's mission of delivering critical public safety information to all audiences in Colorado. We will format a Google Doc for accessibility. We will follow that with a similar doc in Word, and then transfer that document into Adobe PDF. I will help you ensure your accessibility flows into your PDF document. So let's get started. Here's the document we will be working with today. As we scan through the document, it's important to note that the text styles and text sizes are not user-friendly and need to be set to accessibility standards. Tells on text, narrow spacing, and script text styles are not accessible. It can be difficult for all users, including those that do not experience a disability, to read. The Colorado brand standard for text style is Trebuchet MS, which is a great option for accessibility. All sizes should be set to size 12 or higher. We will format all text to this style so that we are following the brand standards of our beautiful state. We're going to go down to the bottom of the page, and that's because we need to select all the content within the document. If I can get this going, we will go ahead and select all content within the document. And then up here in the normal text area, right next to that will be your font style, even though it doesn't show up right now because there's a few different font styles in the document. We're going to click on that and we're going to select Trebuchet MS, following those Colorado brand standards. We're also going to the next box next to that and make sure that our text size is set to a size 12, which is best for user-friendly content. The next thing that we're going to look at is the alignment of our text. So this is something where we need to select all the content again. So we will select from top to bottom every piece of content. Now I'm going to scroll back up and I'll explain to you why. What we're going to do here is we're going to set our alignment to left aligned. And the reason why, if you looked at the fourth bullet, there's kind of some weird spacing in there. And that's because right now it is set to justified. Here in this little box here, we're going to click on the line and we're going to come down and we're going to set that to left aligned. And as you can see in that fourth bullet, that set up the spacing correctly for our document. Structured headings are important for all users so that they may be able to tap through long, complex documents to access the content they're looking for. What do we mean by structured? It's vital to follow a comprehensive order such as heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, and so on. We should never skip the proper order from heading 1 to heading 3. Let's go through the process of setting this document up step by step for accessible navigation by applying headings where they need to be applied. Right here, the first thing that we're going to do is actually apply a title. So we're going to select Accessibility Workshop Document, or if you're working on a document following this video, select your title. And up here in the normal text, we're going to select Apply Title. As you can see, our size changed. It's okay that our size changed. You can have larger size. We just need to make sure that all of our text is set to a size 12. To save this title application to further documents that you create, we will go ahead and come over here to where it says Format, and we're going to come to Paragraph Styles, and we're going to click on Title, and we're going to select Update Title to Match. So we're going to select going through the steps. We're going to come up to our normal text box. It's already set to Trebuchet MS and size 12. we're going to go ahead and go down to heading 1, and we're going to click Apply Heading 1. As you can see, again, our text size changed. That's okay because it is still at a size 12 or larger. This is set to a size 14. If we want to save that information, we're going to come up to Format. We're going to come to Paragraph Styles, and we're going down to Heading 1, and then we're going to click on Update Heading 1 to match. Let's go ahead and apply a Heading 2, just for purposes specifically. Alt text for user-friendly content. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. I'm going to come up here to our normal text, and we're going to click on Apply Heading 2. And then we will come up to our format, and we'll go to our paragraph styles, down to Heading 2, and we will click Update Heading 2 to match. So now that is applied, but that is at a size 16. Ooh, really don't want that. Want our Heading 2 to be a little bit smaller than our Heading 1. So we're going to go ahead and move this down to a little bit smaller than our Heading 1, which is going to be at like a 13. And then we're going to come up here to Format again, and we're going into Heading 2, and we're going to update Heading 2 to match. So that further matches our Heading 2s. So let's go ahead and see if that worked. On hyperlinks, we're going to come up here to normal text, and we're going to put in a Heading 2, apply Heading 2. And as you can see, that applied the Heading 2 setting that we have to the hyperlinks. We'll select color contrast, and we will do a Heading 2, apply Heading 2. And let's just go down to all of the rest of the headings here so that we have them in here. Okay. So now all of our headings are set up for a accessible, user-friendly document. Alternative text, also known as alt text, offers a way for a user to know what you are sharing with them in case they are unable to view an image or a chart. There are many reasons why an image cannot be viewed. One reason is per the device a user is using will be unable to load the image. Another would be if someone uses a screen reader to access your information. It is vital to make sure an image adds to your content because we should never use an image alone to convey any information. Let's go through some different options for alt text so we can build the skills we need for any type of situation in the future. So right here in our document, we're going to scroll down to the images. We're going to right-click the image, scroll down to alt text, and right here in the description, we're going to go ahead and apply that meaningful description that I talked about. So what's in an image doesn't necessarily describe the information that you want to share. So we're going to go ahead and give this a meaningful description in the alt text so that all users will be able to access the information we are trying to share with them. So we're going to go ahead and click OK. And then we will right click and go down to our alt text to verify that that was applied. And we will click OK. So some other options for meaningful descriptions in alt text are applied to these images that are next. So for the sake of time, I've already put in some alt text for these. CDOT avoids road hazards by plowing snow. So when we put on our description, remember that we're going to click OK. And as you can see in this image, it doesn't necessarily describe what's in the image. It's actually describing what is happening in the image. This is the information that needs to be included in your alt text. So here in our Colorado Department of Public Safety logo, we're going to right click, we're going to go down to alternative text, and we're going to put in our logo. And remember that any text that's within an image needs to be applied to your alt text. So let's go ahead and right click that again. And I'm actually going to use this to show you how to apply a decorative alt text. And with that, we're just going to place in our 2 quotation marks. We're going to click OK. And that will let a screen reader know that that image does not add to the content, and the screen reader will skip over that. Hyperlinks are website links inserted into a document. These need to be formatted for accessibility. It is crucial that we make sure that these links are descriptive and will let a user know the link's destination. Not all links will let a user know the destination about a page by them just viewing it, and it is also difficult to listen to a screen reader reading a long URL. Let's create accessible links here so that we can be sure to understand what CDPS means by descriptive. Okay, so here in our links, we're going to go ahead and select the link. We're going to right-click it, and we're going to click Insert Link. There are 3 separate options to apply a link in a Google Doc. We're going to click on Insert Link. On this second one here, to insert the link, we can also use the shortcut Control-K to make that a link. On the third one here, we're going to select this little safety pin up here that says Insert Link, which is right next to your bold and italic options in the toolbar. So we're going to click Insert Link. So now all 3 of these have been made a link. So we are going to right-click the link. We're going to click Edit Link. And in the text to display, we're going to type in where that link is going to take a user. Okay, it's very important that we are detailed in this information. We will click Apply, and that is a much more user-friendly descriptive link. So let's go ahead and right-click this link. We're going to click Edit Link, and this is actually a CDPS information search, and that's what we're going to put in the link description in the text to display. So we're going to put Apply, and there you have a link that's much more easier on the eye. One more time, let's right-click the link. We're going to click Edit Link. And in the text to display, this is a Jeffco Public Schools search. And just as an example, so we are going to put that there, and we're going to click Apply. And as you can see, a much more user-friendly link. Color contrast is another vital part of accessibility in documents. We use color for many things: tables, graphs, charts, and images. With that said, we need to be careful about how we use color in order to ensure that people with visual disabilities such as blindness, low vision, and color blindness can access the information. Colorado Brand Standards aligns with universal accessibility by using a light background with dark text or a dark background with light text. Please do not use color alone to portray the meaning of your content. Please remember to avoid using color legends in a chart to reference the data. Here's a bad example and a couple of good examples of color contrast and charts. Let me explain. In this first chart here, you can see that we used blue on blue. This alone makes it inaccessible for all users. Over here on the side, we are also using color to reference the data. Somebody who is colorblind will not be able to view that information, and they will miss out on important content that you're sharing with them. In this chart here, we have applied black text to all the background colors, and we have also removed that color legend reference chart. Here is a great option for an accessible chart. The reason why this is a great option is because it has disabled and non-disabled in the columns in text displayed. This is a great option to use for visibility. Another good option for accessibility with this chart is the fact that the data is actually placed in numbers above the columns. This makes it definitely user-friendly and more accessible for users. So while we're here, we're going to right-click on this chart and we're going to go to the alt text for purposes of referencing how alt text should be applied to charts and graphs. Employment for disabled and non-disabled employees in 1991, 50.2% of employees were disabled and 84.4% were not disabled, and so on. So in 2010, 41.1% of employees were disabled. So basically, this is a good example of how you should be referencing charts and graphs in alt text. So we're going to go ahead and click OK there. Tables should follow a clear structure. For purposes of navigation, we need to include a header row and keep the content in the rows below. Tables should also be used for data purposes only. If you have a lot of text within a table, the table content should be replaced with a list instead. When we create a PDF, it is important to check the reading order on tables, especially because Adobe can get this wrong. So here is the table in the document. Right now, there is not a header row at all, but we should make sure that we have a header row involved in the table. So right here, as you can see, none of these are pinned. If we pin this top row, that automatically creates a header row for that table. Now, providing a table of contents helps all users to navigate through a lot of context within a document. Short documents that have 1 or 2 pages do not need a table of contents. Let's go over generating a table of contents so that all users can navigate easily to the information they need. We're going to place our spacer bar in between the title and the first header. On this, we are going to go to Insert, and we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says Table of Contents, and we're going to pick an option. As you can see, a table of contents was generated. We will place the spacebar in between our title and the table of contents. Then we will come up here to Insert, and we will come down to Break and insert a page break there to push that table of contents to the next page. We will then repeat those steps by putting the spacebar underneath the table of contents, coming up to Insert, going down to Break, and clicking Page Break. That generated our table of contents to be on its own page. When you have long, complex documents, this is the best way to generate a table of contents, is to make sure that that is on its own page. Now let's look at the Word document. For the sake of time, accessibility that we have applied to our Google Doc is already formatted here, but we will just quickly go through the process. So here is right up here in the Home tab in Word, you can select Trebuchet MS and a size 12 for your document here. Let's see. And then over here in the styles, if you set one up, you can actually, if you're going to do a heading 1, you can right click that heading 1 and you can click on modify. And then in here, you can go through the process of Trebuchet MS 16. And then, once it's all done, you can say new documents based on this template. And you can add it to the styles gallery, which makes things much easier. So going through that process, we just did that. Let's go ahead and we will click on heading 1. As you can see, that applied the heading 1. But actually, I want this to be our title. So we're going to click on title. So basically, this is where you would do all of your stuff, is right here in this toolbar. We want to make sure that all of our stuff is aligned left, which it is. When you generate a table of contents, we're going to click on references. And right here is where you can pick your table of contents that you would like to have in your document. And this will set that up for you as well. As I said, up here in your home, we can click on heading 1. We want to put that there. Right here, we can make a heading 2. And, you know, if you don't like the blue or the presets, like I said, come in here, modify, and then it's set to heading 2, normal. And then right here, you would change it to Trebuchet MS, and you would want to make your color in black, and you can put new documents based on this template and click OK. So this is how you would normally set your settings in Word for any kind of information that you want to share. The next thing that I want to do is just really quickly show you how you would apply alt text in Word. We're going to right click the document. It's quite similar. We're going to click on edit alt text. And as you can see, my alt text is already in there. But if I typed in my description, I could just close it, and that will actually apply that alt text to that image. The next thing I would like to do is go ahead and just remove this link so we can go through the process of showing you how to apply a link in Word. So we're going to select our link that we pasted in. We're going to come down here and we're going to click on link. And then we can, in the text display in this area, we can click, we can type in our Saba Cloud. And then we can click OK. And then it would insert, it would set up that link for accessibility user friendly content. Let's see. So when it comes to Word here, Word pretty much automatically generates that first column as being a header column. So we have no issues with this at all. The next thing that we should share in Word is how to check the accessibility in a Word document. You can check the accessibility in your Word document before you transfer it over into Adobe PDF by clicking on Review. And then here in this option here in the toolbar, you have Check Accessibility. You can click on Check Accessibility. You can check your reading order. You can check your table. If we click on the table, as you can see, if we tab through it, it will show us our reading order right here for our table. Okay. And you need to do this every time you create a table. So it's important that you go through that process. Now that I have showed you how to format in Word all of your documents for accessibility and save those applications, we need to be sure and talk a little bit about Adobe. It is important to note to never select print PDF because your work on accessibility in your document will not carry over into PDF software. In Word, we will select Create PDF, and in Google, we will select Download PDF. If you follow these guidelines, you can ensure that your document will be accessible. So let's go ahead and transfer our Word document into Adobe PDF. On the bar up here in the area, if you have access to Adobe, you will have the Acrobat tab. Right here under Preferences, we're going to click on Preferences, and we're just going to make sure that everything is checked here, that everything follows in. And right here, we will make sure Enable Accessibility in Reflow with tagged Adobe PDF. We will make sure that that is selected. We will click OK. Then we will click Create PDF, and we will click Yes. We will also make sure that everything is set up here. We will click on our options, and we'll make sure that that is still clicked on Enable Accessibility and Reflow with tagged Adobe PDF. And we will click on OK. Then we will click Save, and we'll click Yes, and it will transfer over into Adobe PDF. Now we're in Adobe. Let me show you how to check the reading order. We're going to come down here to Accessibility, and we're going to click on Reading Order. We're going to click on Show Panel, and we're going to click Close on that. And then as you can see here, we have numbered information. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so as we go through the process, you will tab down so that you can see everything that's being read in your reading order, in order, on each page. And that will be how you check your reading order. Now to check accessibility, we're going to click over here where it says Accessibility Check. And in the accessibility check, we want to make sure that everything is marked, and we click Start Checking. And as you can see here, the document has 3 issues. The first one that it has is a title. That's because Adobe PDF will not transfer the title over. So we're going to right-click that, and we're going to click Fix, and then we'll uncheck Leave As Is, and then we will call it Accessibility. Just apply a title, and we'll click OK. The other 2 issues that you need is you need to manually check for your color contrast and make sure that you're following the high color contrast guidelines. And the second thing is, of course, checking to make sure that your reading order is going to be logical for all users independently. Please check with your strategic communications team in your division to give you access to training on how to correct any reading order issues, as I won't be going over this today. If you have access to Adobe, please be sure that you add the tools to your homepage. All you need to do is click on the Tools tab, and that will generate a tool template to where you can pick the tools that you need for your position purposes. Thank you for joining me in the training workshop for accessible documents. I hope this has helped you learn how to practice good habits so that CDPS can continue our mission and ensure all users, external and internal, are able to access our systems, documents, services, and resources independently. If you need any other training, please check with your strategic communications team. Let's work together to succeed with accessibility standards. Have a great day.